Why you should start an AI agent agency instead of a marketing agency in 2026. If you're thinking about starting a marketing agency in 2026, I need you to stop for a second because you're about to sign up for the hardest version of the game. I know because I coach agency owners every single Thursday, guys that are doing 7 and 8 figures a year. And you know what they ask me about on every single call? It's not ads, it's not SEO, it's how to sell AI agents to their clients because they've realized something that most beginners haven't. Running a marketing agency means fighting rising ad and team costs, churn every 90 days, and clients who blame you every time algorithms have a bad week. But selling AI agents means building something once, charging monthly for it, and then the software, the product does the delivery. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the real cost of running a marketing agency versus an AI agent agency. And I'm also gonna show you an actual bot we built that a real marketing agency uses every single day. And by the end, you understand why the smartest agency owners I know are all making this switch right now. So my name is Joel Yee. I was born and raised in Malaysia, and I moved to the US at 16 and immediately started learning all things computer science. In fact, before I was even a teenager, I was already doing things using like LimeWire, if you remember back in the day, right? Using things like the Pirate Bay, uTorrent, right? Learning all these ways to get access to pirated games. So I was playing with computer ever since I was a kid. And I got my degree as a computer science major in university in 2018 is when I graduated. I was also one of the earliest US Army cybersecurity officers, one of the first 100 that ever accessed the Commission S1. And I was 21 years old when I had my top secret clearance. So quite a rare combination, right? Comp-sci degree, US Army Cyber, but I also won an AI award back in 2018 for my final capstone project, beating out hundreds of students in my university. All this to say, I've been playing with AI many years before ChatGPT was even mainstream. Today, we run an agency called Deploy AI Bots that helps build and train over 300 companies to deploy these AI agents. Every Thursday, I train a room full of 7 and 8 figure agency owners who all share the same struggles. We currently build custom AI agents for different industries, law firms, dental practices, tax firms, marketing agency owners, and even sales teams. I'm also very proud that my foundation in Malaysia, where I grew up, Joel Yee, graduated 16 graduates who had absolutely zero experience on how to build and deploy AI agents. We graduated them actually a few weeks ago. And we're now having more cohorts, and this is a full nonprofit where we pay for their laptops, their classroom, their food, their transportation, everything. So now I've got my phone here, and I wanna show you the brutal math of a marketing agency. We're gonna compare and contrast, okay? Delivery labor from a monthly cost for a paid ads agency is easily $8,000 to $15,000 a month. That includes your media buyer, copywriter, even your maybe marketing director, video editor, graphic designer, funnel builder. There's a lot of costs, right, with labor. Now, then we got software and tools. If you want to run paid ads, you've got to pay for a lot of different software and tools, including Hyros. Maybe you got to pay for ClickFunnels. You got to pay for A/B split testing tools, right? There's all these different tools there you got to pay for. Tracking analytics, right? You've got to pay for tracking and analytics tools. Like I said, sometimes you pay for Hyros, pay for different tools yourself, build dashboards, right? Build Google Sheets to then show your clients all these different options. And then with client reporting, you typically need a VA because it's very manual. You got to take all this data from Facebook Ads Manager, Google Ads Manager, put it on a spreadsheet, do this every Monday, jump on weekly calls. That's a lot of manual work here. So if you add all these costs together, you know, at the bare minimum, you're at like $10,000 a month, just labor costs plus tools, okay, minimum. At the middle end, you're around $20,000 a month. And at the high end is obviously 30, 40, 50, 60K plus, right? That's an example for a paid marketing agency, just on the cost itself. Now, let's look at an AI agent agency. If you get one certified AI implementer for $2,000 a month, and we get them from international, right, sources, Lebanon, Malaysia, different countries, you can get delivery to build the agent for you and maintain. And one team member can easily build and maintain over 5 to 10 agents. We have literally almost no cost on tools and software. The only thing is maybe the API keys, like an OpenAI subscription, Claude subscription, Minimax, right? $80 to $200 a month. That's it. Hosting for some bots could be $20 a month. So that's literally it. We don't have to worry about reporting. We don't have to worry about analytics because our bot, as long as our bot's doing the work it's doing, no one's complaining about it, right? So all in all, to run 5 to 10 bots, I'm spending 2.2K a month. Can you imagine comparing $2,200 a month to minimum 10K a month, right? With 3 to 5 clients on paid ad site, it's massive. And so I'm not joking when I say every sale we make, you can get a 60% margin or more. It's very easy. It's not hard at all. So let's do this math here, okay? let's say both agencies charge 10,000 bucks a month for a bot and for paid ad services, okay? Two services, right? One, we charge them an AI agent. The other one sells a paid Facebook ads offer, okay? For the AI agent business, if we collect 10K, my labor to build that bot is only 2K. And technically I can build more than one, but let's just say 2K. And let's say my software cost is 200 bucks. Like I said, my total cost is 2,200. I've made 78% gross profit on one service here. Now look at the paid ads one. This is a problem. If we collect 10K, now you gotta pay for the media buyer, the creative team, the copywriter, the designer, the CRO, right, which is the conversion rate optimization, the reporting, the ad tools. These 7 things can easily be, like I said, $8,000 to $10,000. So you could even be at a loss for one client unless you want to do everything yourself. But if you do everything yourself, you know what the next question is. How could you ever scale this business, right? You're always stuck. So you make 2K profit, 20%, but sometimes you're negative if the client requires a lot of hand-holding and babysitting. And once you get bad performance, people blame you for the performance, right? Even though it's not your fault. Even though Facebook algorithm decides to go crap the bed, but they'll still blame you for it, right? That's kind of how it works for ads. Look, an AI agency is primarily a systems business. So what that means is you build the AI agent once, you make small tweaks, but then the software works 24/7. It's not supposed to break. A paid ads agency is a people business. Those are two very different things. Every new client means more creatives, more management, more copy, more testing, more reporting, more meetings, more revisions. You're constantly hiring people just to keep up. Another thing people don't realize is that a paid ads agency or even an SEO agency, you're fighting against physics. Every client needs every month new ads, new videos, new images, new hooks, new landing pages, new copy, new tests. You never finish the work, right? Because you're always marketing. An AI agent, on the other hand, gets installed, gets improved, it self-learns over time, runs continuously. So you know what that means? It means the work decreases instead of increasing. So let's talk a bit about scalability, right? Because earlier in this video, I alluded to what's the point of running a business if you're forever gonna have to do the work? The very definition of a business is to be a leader that can install employees or contractors so that you can eventually work out of the business, right? Work on the business instead of in the business. If you're always in the business, then you're not really entrepreneur or business owner. You just got yourself a very high paying job, okay? So let's look at a scalability example. So again, I got my phone and let's do the math. So let's say I sell 20 AI clients at $10,000 each, right? Like I said, $200,000 in cash collected. Not bad. Now, remember when I said that each bot builder can handle 5 clients? But let's say to make it easy, I'm just gonna say each builder can only handle 2 clients. So then I need 10 builders, right? So 10 builders at 2K each is only $20,000. And let's say I want a manager to manage all 10 of them, a director. And let's say we'll pay him or her 6K a month. So that's 20 plus 6, 26,000. 26,000 plus, let's just call it $1,000 in software costs. So $27,000 to manage $200,000 a month. That's amazing margins. That's over 70% margins, right? That's great. Now, look at 20 paid ads clients in a paid ads agency. You collect 200K a month, but your delivery cost is between 120 to 180K a month. Again, you're gonna now need a head of media buying. You now need a creative director. These are both 6-figure roles. You need designers, video editors, copywriters, account managers, CSMs, client success managers. You need a whole reporting team, a dashboard building team. So you've built a massive infrastructure on the same $200,000. So your organization just becomes much larger and more complex. Here's the bottom line. Paid ads agency scales by hiring people. AI agency scales by deploying more agents and systems. That's why I believe AI agents can achieve significantly higher margins and simpler operations than traditional paid ad agencies, provided we build AI agents that work, that deliver constant value to our clients. So now you've seen the example and the math between these two types of businesses. Let me just explain in very simple terms what an AI agent business is. Step 1, you find a real business problem. We call it a narrow problem that a business has. So for example, it could be, this is a real example. We spoke to this business owner last week who does short-term housing rentals, right? They have VAs from the Philippines, check emails, take in leads that now need short-term housing. It's a super manual process. They use a software called Monday.com. They gotta open the email, take the information, put it in Monday, look for the best property, offer the property to them, make sure the insurance companies pay for the property, right? Because they have to relocate. It's a whole mess. And it's all manual, okay? And their payroll cost is over $20,000 a month just doing that. Now imagine we found that business problem and we say, hey, instead of paying $20,000 a month for this whole team to do this manually every single day, what if we charge you $10,000 one time? So that way in 1 year, you save over $240,000. It's kind of like me saying, hey, if I save you 240K this year, would you pay me $10,000? Anybody would say yes to that, right? So then you get 10K and you build that agent, which automates that entire process. That's what I mean by fixing a narrow problem. So you find a narrow problem, you build the solution, you deliver, and all that's left after delivery is just to maintain it. And the really cool part is, for maintenance, we quoted $500 a month to maintain that agent. And guess what? $500 a month, that's pure profit. If you think about it, the only cost I have is the labor, which my team is just doing on maintenance anyway. So it's really pure profit, and that's amazing, right? And to build an AI agent business, it's not about being technical. The technical part is not the hardest part. I can literally teach you how to build an AI agent in a few days. The hard part is actually distribution, which is marketing and sales. So we actually spend a lot more time with our ABC students on how to market and how to do these sales calls. Because once you can market and sell, the product is not very easy to build. And if you think about it, companies today want these AI agents. So how hard is it to actually sell these bots to people, right? Like, it's not that hard. So some example of bots we built that is like super in demand right now is a AI DM setter. An AI DM setter, which you're gonna watch the video of soon, everybody wants it. And I have this client, he does options trading as a coaching program. He's awesome, by the way. And he gets 2,000 inbound DMs on Instagram every single week. And he has a team of DM setters. So what they do is, they're humans, right? They log into Instagram and they reply to Instagram. But with 2,000 DMs, they can't keep up with that demand. Literally right now, we're building him a DM setter that will go in and reply instantly to all those people DMing. The DM setter will never sleep, will never eat, will never take a break, will work 24/7, right? And this DM setter bot, here's a cool thing. We actually built this for a previous company, a previous client who does turbo tinting. They do windshield tinting for cars. So imagine, right? I take the same bot, modify it, but the framework and the infrastructure is the same. So it's really duplicatable. I can now duplicate this bot and put it into an online coaching business. And imagine, I can take this bot, I can put it into a dental business. I can take this bot, I can put it into a tax business. I can take this bot here and put it into an accounting business. Doesn't matter. Once you've built the bot once, you can templatize and productize that. That is amazing. Because the truth is, like in this case, I'm not selling, okay, if you're running paid at the agency, you don't have to sell marketing anymore. You're selling an employee that will cost you barely $500 a month, but it will never sleep. It will never ask you for a raise, okay? Now, I want you to watch a demo, just my screen share video of my DM setter bot in action. I'm gonna talk about it as well, but I just want you to see how it works, how amazing it is, kind of how we built it, and the use cases working in this turbo tinting business, okay? So watch this video. This is the example of you can see, right, these are real conversations happening right now. So this, you can see, the bot is user. TF is a person, but the user is the bot. So the bot is saying, hey, which windows do you want tinted for your Nissan Kicks 2022, right? And he's a windshield, perfect, blah, blah. But look at this. Notice how it talks in a very human way. It also doesn't even look like AI. There's no M dashes. And if there's a hidden privacy, right? For the car, it checks the database for the vehicle and it gives the pricing. Boom, turbo ceramic, right? And you can see it's gonna respond later, but right now you can see that it's always responding to customers and also making sure that people are collecting payment. So I'll show you one example here. Okay, here you go. So in this case, you can see the bot is confirming the price. And then look, it's also checking available calendar spots. This is our turbo tinting shop's calendar spots, right? And it can find and say, hey, I got these spots open. So it checks the calendar as well. And then it gives a list of times, checking this tool called ShopMonkey. And we can check any calendar tool, Calendly, Schedule One, whatever. And then it books. And then, it tries a booking appointment and says, hey, we require a $29 deposit. So it sends a link to make sure the customer pays a deposit, which is really badass. And then once they pay, it checks the email to make sure they've paid for it, right? So I'll show you an example of the payment. Yep, so here's a good example. When someone makes a payment, it actually confirms the confirmation number and it books in the appointment at a specific location. So anything here in yellow is booked by the bot, right? You see this? Deposit paid, confirmation number. Everything here is built, automated, fully automated. The only thing I have to say is that this bot is also fully self-learning. So I'll show something cool. This is the database where it stores every single conversation. So Supabase is the knowledge base. And you can see here for these two bots, right? If you look at the database, you see how it's over 2,000 conversations and 23,000 actions. Every single action the bot takes, every single conversation back and forth, it populates. So why this is crucial is that it's self-learning, which means it gets smarter and smarter at responding, at closing, at booking appointments. So as time goes on, this bot only gets more valuable. And you can see why this is such a hot in-demand bot right now, because literally when people are sleeping at night, I think there's even messages of people like in the middle of the day that you can even see. Yeah, you see this, for example, right? Not in the middle of night, but definitely past work times, like 9 p.m., 8 p.m. And the bot is just there, confirming appointments, booking appointments. So something again where we don't need employees now to be online. This is also industry agnostic. Like I said, you can modify this to dental, tax, accounting, any industry really. You can even see it messages in Instagram, right? Text. So very, very high value agent here. And if you are a coach, an agency, a law firm, you got dental business, home service, SaaS, e-commerce, this bot is for you. The one other thing I'll show you in the demo, which is really cool, is that it's also smart enough to hand off. So for example, like this customer, Tanya, she wants a Afterpay payment option, which is like a financing option. It will tell you here to basically, hey, I need help. And then a human can come in here and say, hey, do this, do this, do this, right? So if you come take a look at all these different handoffs, we can tell it what to do and how to respond. And every time we teach it, it learns and learns and learns. So this could be your first digital employee, an AI DM setter, so that you never have to chase leads again. And it's going to be super high value. All right. See you in the next demo. As I said earlier, we sell this exact bot for $500 a month. 10 clients on it is $5,000 a month recurring. And the bot does the delivery, not you. Every Thursday, 7- and 8-figure agency owners show up to my call every week. We get about 30 to 50 of these business owners because what they realize is that their old offers are dying. They're usually paid ads businesses, SEO businesses, local lead gen businesses. But the problem is it's a red ocean to sell it, right? Literally sharks, because everyone sells the same thing. And one of my students, owner, literally upsold his existing clients $30,000 a month in recurring business just for them to buy an AI agent. And he literally said selling AI agents is so much easier than selling marketing, paid marketing. And if you have these exact clients yourself, if you run a marketing business, you got ads clients, you got SEO clients, you already have the trust. So it's the same thing. All you're doing is you're just adding the product that people actually want right now. And the other smart thing to think about is if you have an existing marketing agency, right? I'm not discouraging you. You just have to adapt with your marketing as well. Your own marketing, right? As funny as it sounds. You can say, hey, I will build an AI agent for you that gets people through the door, gets on a call with you. And then on the call with you, you can sell them your core offer, which is paid ads, which is SEO, whatever it is, right? So you can get people through the door by selling AI agents. And if the guy's already making millions with agencies and are pivoting to this, what does that tell you about starting one from scratch the old way? So here's where you're at. There are two kinds of people watching this video now. The first kind, you're gonna close this tab, go start a marketing agency, because that's what every guru in Tai Lopez told you to do back in 2020, right? And you're gonna spend the next year fighting for scraps in the most saturated market on the internet. The second kind is going to look at what I just showed you and not take my word for it. Do your own research, do your own math, do your own calculations on the cost. Maybe even try to build a real bot and realize that, wow, I can get real clients paying me real money, and realize that the window is open right now. I've literally watched complete beginners build their first bot in 4 hours because we run live events in Miami and all across the world, even in South Korea. I've also watched agency owners at $20,000 in revenue in 2 days because the demand is there and almost nobody knows how to deliver this yet or can even teach you this. If you're curious and you want to see exactly how to build and sell your first AI agent, I put everything together for you at the link in the description for free. So click it, go watch the free training, and maybe I'll see you on the inside.